All right, another episode of Fresh Out of College, guys. Here we go.
We have another guest today, one of our friends from college. We lived in our house together. He swam 4 years at the University of Puget Sound, was a senior captain. He's a big Warriors fan, Detroit Lions fan, and he's decent at fantasy football and basketball. Our friend, Justin Sasano.
Yeah, we're really excited for this segment. We're introducing it. We're going to talk about movies, and it's going to be we're going to talk about musical movies. So we'll have La La Land in there, Bohemian Rhapsody, and just because he is so knowledgeable with the movie segment, we're really excited to introduce this, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So let's get into it.
Welcome back to another segment, video, whatever you want to call it, of Fresh Out of College. Again, here with our guest, Justin Sasano. We are going to talk about movies, kind of a cool new thing we want to talk about. We're going to call it Lights, Camera, Action. Pretty cheesy, but pretty funny, we thought. But today,
it's the most unoriginal thing.
Yeah, most unoriginal thing ever, but it's funny, so we're going to go with it. But today's topic, we're going to do movies related to music or that have music in it. So we'll cover movies like one of my favorites, La La Land. We're going to talk about Blinded by the Light. We're going to talk about what else we're going to talk about? Rocketman, Bohemian Rhapsody. A lot of good movies. And Justin's here, and he knows a lot about movies and pop culture, so this will be a really fun discussion. So let's get right into it. Drew, you want to start off with a question?
Well, let's just give some background on some of these. So what movies have you guys seen? I kind of want to go down a list. So we have the list in front of us. Name off your favorite movie from this list. Justin, you want to go first? What movie was your favorite? And we can just talk about that.
My favorite movie off the list would have to be, Bohemian was really good just because I didn't really know that much about Freddie Mercury and his life. So, and then seeing Rami Malek's portrayal of it almost seemed like that's what he won an Oscar for. So, like, of his role as Freddie Mercury, and if they showed like a side by side of like his performances and everything, it's almost the exact same. So it was really interesting to see and to kind of live through that Freddie Mercury experience. Almost, it was almost like that through the Bohemian Rhapsody movie. So
let's start there.
My favorite one. So
that's awesome. Yeah, let's start there. So the budget was 50 million, and they made 903.7 million in US dollars. So quite the box office success. So Bryan Singer was the director. He directed the X-Men. I don't know if you guys know that, but he was part of that whole trilogy, or actually 10 movie series. And then he also directed the Usual Suspects. So pretty cool movie. If nobody's seen that has Kevin Spacey and somebody else, and then Rami Malek. This I think was his first big movie. I think I have it here. He was in The Robot, which was a TV series that played from 2015 to 2019. And then he was actually in the Night at the Museum movies.
Oh yeah,
Rami was.
Yeah, he was like that pharaoh.
Oh.
He was in all, and they made 3 of them. So pretty interesting things.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I forgot about that.
Which is crazy, I think, because he looks a lot like now we portray him as Freddie Mercury, right?
Exactly.
But now it's just a pharaoh. Some interesting facts, and then Ryota, I want to know your favorite scene from this. Okay. Sacha Baron Cohen was gonna play Freddie Mercury.
I could see it.
Wait, who is that? I know.
He's the guy from Borat.
Oh. Well, I think they really wanted to have someone that looked really similar. So that makes sense. But
he was the first choice, though. That's pretty funny.
He was the first choice.
Which is,
and what other movie has he done? Any other like serious movies? Like, I don't actually know.
No, I think he's just known for like portraying like Borat.
Okay. I
Borat
could not have watched that then. I'm glad they found Remy.
The exact copy of Wembley Stadium for the Live Aid was recreated. And it was actually built step by step. So
wow,
pretty interesting. I think that's my favorite scene, to be honest with you. I think that
Mhm.
right there was my favorite. It gave me goosebumps.
Hmm.
What do you guys think when you think of Bohemian? What kind of scene pulls you into it? Like, what can you rewatch the most?
I think the Live Aid concert
Yeah.
was really cool. I actually ended up watching. Like, I looked up on YouTube after watching it, like the Live Aid,
Yeah.
on video, and it was really cool to watch. It's like almost exactly the same. I also love how they purposely, intentionally, they did the sneak preview. Like the first scene was, Freddie about to go walk into the stage, and then that's what they end with. That was a
Hmm.
really cool director decision there. I really enjoyed that. I also loved, yeah, I mean, like kind of like Justin said, like I didn't listen to Queen a whole lot. I didn't know about Freddie Mercury very much. So it was really cool to, learn, but also start to enjoy like Queen. Like I probably
Hmm.
have a Queen song in every single playlist that I listen to, whether it's for working out or for doing, homework or whatever it might be. So it definitely changed my view on the band, and now I have a lot of respect for them too. I think just because what they went through. Um,
Yeah.
Also, I really liked how they portrayed Mary. Um, I
Mm.
thought she was seemed like a very impactful person in Freddie's life and like the band, because if it weren't for her going to his house and telling her about Live Aid, like that would have never happened. And like even though they were friends, like they're clearly weren't romantic partners anymore. And I thought that was really cool. I think that was kind of probably part of the intention of the movie director too, to make sure that they, pay tribute to Mary, because she did do a lot for him too. So I thought that was cool.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Justin, do you have is Live Aid also one of
Yeah,
your
I
most
agree. I mean,
rewatchable scenes?
yeah, Live Aid was definitely because like I said, they did a side by side comparison of like the Live Aid concert and the movie, and it was basically pretty much they tried to make it like almost the exact same, and it was really cool. So it's just kind of like walking through history for those of us that weren't alive to see the Live Aid concert like live, and then to have it be more like in a movie. I guess sense made it more. I guess well, they tried to make it as personable as they could to the real thing. So it was just really cool, and yeah, Rami Malek did a great job.
Yeah. I honestly think he kind of transformed this, and I think you guys would agree as well. And it
Mhm.
also, I think without him in it, I think I wouldn't have kind of the impact Ryota has with like Queen music, because I think
Hmm.
he was a big influence in that. And I think if they did have Sacha Baron Cohen, I don't know if I
You
just
wouldn't be
don't
able
know
to take him
these.
seriously.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I liked kind of the seriousness that it brought because it was such a
Mhm.
serious topic,
Yeah.
and then also the talent. Did he? I don't know if he actually sang. Did he sing? Do you know
I
if he sang?
don't
Oh no, Rami Malek does.
think so.
Okay, okay.
Not with
But
that voice, because there's no way he can sing. No offense
even
to
then,
him.
it was just like it does. I do have Queen songs, even though I didn't grow up with
Yeah,
them, even though we didn't grow
yeah,
up with them.
exactly.
So it did last that impact.
Another cool scene I just remembered. Sorry to
No, go,
interrupt
go,
you.
go, go,
Do you
go.
remember when Freddie was on his bed and he was playing piano? Do you guys remember that scene? He
When he was
started
on
playing
his
the
bed
beat.
playing piano.
Yeah, he was like this, and he just started playing piano next to Mary. And Mary was like, "That was beautiful." And then Freddie's like, "It might be something." And it was the beginning of Bohemian Rhapsody. Do you guys
Oh,
remember that?
really? That's
No, I
actually
don't.
Okay, well, you guys need to go watch that, because he's just playing just for like upside down, not even looking. And Mary's like,
and
"That
then he
was quite
makes one of the
beautiful." And he's just
best.
like, might be something. I remember
That
laughing in the movie theater. But
See, I guess we did. I need you to refresh it up on it, but
I
I
watched it like
bet.
a week ago. That's why I knew that. But
Well, next time I'll rewatch it and I'll be on the same wavelength as you, Ryota. That's a good scene. What is another good scene that I liked? Do you guys does the manager seem a little familiar to you guys? Does he look familiar?
Manager.
The manager of Queen,
the well, which
Queen's
one? The Because there's
the
like, you're talking about like the
oh
band manager or like the helper guy?
the manager.
Oh, the rich
Oh
snobby guy.
yeah, he's in.
He's Mike Myers.
No, no,
No,
no.
no, that's like the record. That's like the
Oh, well, the
studio.
recording. owner.
Yeah.
The Queen's like manager, and then I think Freddie Mercury fires him in the limo.
Oh yeah.
That guy played Littlefinger,
Yep.
Peter Baelish
Yep.
Right.
on Game of Thrones.
Right.
I liked him. I thought he did a pretty good job in that movie too. I really liked him as an actor.
Me
Mhm.
too.
Pretty cool.
It is interesting because all I really see is, I mean, when you guys think of this movie, do you think? I mean, sorry, when you think of Rami Malek, do you think now of Queen, or do you think of, I don't know, The Night
Like
at the
the
Museum
robot
or The
or
Robot?
the
Do you think
Pharaoh
this is
and
his biggest movie he's made?
Yeah, I think this
His
will define.
apex,
This
in a
defined
sense?
his career.
Mhm.
Okay,
I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
well, that was pretty easy. All right, other movies that had music in it. Ryota, what's another one of your favorites?
Let's just go down the list, and how about we jump right into La La Land, right? Why
Yeah.
not?
I love it. Okay, so La La Land. Let me bring up my notes. All right, it actually debuted in 2016, so it's been 4 years, and I don't know. That seems crazy. Time flies.
Mhm.
It had a budget of 30 million, and then box office of 446. So not as big as Bohemian, not as big as the last one, but
Yeah.
I mean, still massive in its own sense.
Mhm.
Damien Chazelle directed it. He also directed Whiplash in 2014.
I want to talk about that later
Great
too.
movie.
Yeah. And then he is currently directing Babylon, which will premiere in 2021 with stars Brad Pitt, Emma Stone, and Tobey Maguire.
What's Babylon? Do you know about? I'm gonna look it up right now. But
It's very much in pre-production, and I also didn't look up that much. I just saw that. But
Okay.
pretty cool that Emma Stone is working with him again.
yeah,
So the cast had Ryan Gosling as Sebastian Wilder, Emma Stone as obviously, and then John Legend, and then J.K. Simmons. So pretty all-star cast.
Mhm.
I think one of my favorite scenes. It's not like as big, and you guys probably don't remember it, but when J.K. Simmons played the restaurant manager and then fired Ryan Gosling for the piano because he was going off track. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
And I just like JK, so that's why. That was like his only line to go fire Ryan Gosling in the movie. Pretty funny.
Yeah.
What is your guys' favorite scene? I guess that was my favorite scene.
I guess my favorite scene, because I didn't know this, like I guess I didn't really connect singing with Ryan Gosling,
Mm-hmm.
but like the City of Stars scene when they're kind of like in like was it like a planetarium almost
Mhm.
or whatever, like that telescope area or whatever. Anyways, when they're kind of like singing and dancing through that part, I thought that was really cool. I didn't know Ryan Gosling could sing as cheesy as it was, like floating in the air and kind of like doing their thing. I was
Mhm.
like, it's got some pretty like that's cinematic magic right there.
Mhm.
It's got CGI and everything, but it's really cool. And yeah, and I didn't realize Ryan Gosling could sing and play the piano. I think that was him playing the piano.
Yeah,
That
I
might have been
think he
someone
learned
else's
piano to
hands.
play it.
It
Yeah.
is. Okay, yeah. So, Ryan Gosling, multi-talented, not just a very good-looking actor. So,
Honestly,
thought that scene was really cool.
surprised everybody, I think.
Yeah.
Fun fact, when you were talking about the planetarium,
Mhm.
it was originally supposed to be set in Boston,
Hmm.
but then they
Really?
moved it to LA.
I think that was
So
better because the whole thing was kind of about making it as an actor, right? So I don't know if it
Mhm.
would have made. Yeah,
that's true.
that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know why they chose Boston. Maybe it was just the directors.
The whole story might have been different if it was in Boston. Honestly, not the whole
Yeah,
story, but it would have been different.
yeah. I think LA was the right choice.
Yeah.
Rita, what's your favorite scene?
I'm probably gonna receive a lot of criticism for this because you guys already gave me stuff when I said this, but the ending, I think, because Drew and I took film criticism, or at least had a little bit of film criticism subject in our classes for communications, but we talked about how a lot of these movies have this Princess Diary ending, where the princess ends up marrying the poor male lover, whatever. But I think this was a really cool twist because it kind of brought into perspective how most things in life aren't going to happen the way you expect it to, I think that was a kind of a cool love story. What we see them go on two totally separate ways, and they're totally happy with it. They still have mutual respect for each other. When she sees him, she ends up in his bar, jazz bar, and he plays a song, and then where they do their cool head nod. I thought that was pretty cool. I know you guys didn't really like the ending as much because you thought they'd be together.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
The full flashback.
I didn't like it. I think
that was good.
We spent 2 hours with them, right? And then they don't end up together. Like,
Yeah.
What? Come on. I'm not leaving this. It's like it doesn't get. I mean, granted,
Yeah.
he did get his club.
Yeah.
But gosh, it's like they formed this
It was
relationship.
frustrating. Yeah.
And you're with them, and then it's like it's not like they're in the same city, right? Are they not?
Yeah, well, I think they cut ties. Like, they didn't talk to each other at all. That's why she ended up randomly at his bar.
It's like it would make sense if she like left like to go to Boston.
Right.
But no, they're in LA. They could have. They had such a good. Oh my gosh.
But I thought
don't know.
it was cooler to rub it into you guys more that they do the full flashback scene where they like do like shots of them actually together, and then they have a baby, but then again in that story they're not really. She's not an actor, or I can't remember if she was an actor in the flashback or not. But anyways, it was cool seeing like what could have been, but then reality hits, but they're still happy with where they're at on separate paths. I thought that was
but
really
it's not their job to be happy. It's our job to be happy.
Yeah, that's the whole point of the movie.
I mean, I get it was frustrating, but I think from like if film criticism standpoint, I thought it was good that they went against the typical traditional love story. So I did enjoy that.
Yeah, I guess.
Also, the soundtrack.
The soundtrack's amazing.
I mean, obviously, I think it must have won an Oscar for the soundtrack, or Oscar or Grammy. I don't know what you'd win this.
It would be Oscar. It'd be like best original soundtrack.
Right. But
I think if it didn't have as good of music, I still think it would have been amazing. But I think it just elevated this to another whole new like tier. And
as a musical too, right? I mean, it wasn't like a full Hamilton kind of musical, but it was musically based, and that they did a really good job making it into a, LA film.
Yeah, that's true.
And before we move on, I wanted to touch on, or maybe you were going to go into it, Drew, but the potential cast members.
Yes, I was.
Drew, you want to talk about it?
Yeah, I do. So Miles Teller was going to play Sebastian. And then there was, I guess he wanted more money, or it goes back and forth, but it was a not a ideal breakup. And then Emma Watson was supposed to star in it, but then she had to drop out because of Beauty and the Beast.
I was gonna say, I was about the same time.
But like, I think Emma Stone did an amazing job here.
I thought Emma Stone was great. And this is probably one of, kind of like Rami Malek's, like this was probably one of her career defining moments. Like, she's been in a couple good movies before, but like this is like probably her best ever, and she'll be remembered for it.
Yeah, I think she was really good in The Favorite and The Help. But as a musical, this is definitely her major one.
She really showed her
chops.
Word I'm thinking of.
Musical chops.
Yeah, musical chops are just like
range.
Variety. But I mean, it's interesting because Miles Teller was in Whiplash, which was, I think, released in 2015, right, the year before. I think so. It would have been cool to see him, because Whiplash was, I thought, a really good one, but not as big as La La Land. I think just among the whole population. It was a little bit too serious for people, but it would have been cool to see him go back to back. And I feel like Miles could sing. I don't know, but Ryan Gosling, I don't know, I thought ended up being a great choice with those two. But Emma Watson would have been cool to see, but I don't know how she would have done it with her British accent. Maybe she would have kept it. I don't know idea.
Also, Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone have made a movie before together, so they have that chemistry, and I think that played a huge part in it. Do you guys, when you guys think of Ryan Gosling, do you think of La La Land, or do you think of The Notebook, Crazy Stupid Love, Nice Guys, Place Beyond the Pine?
I've only seen Nice Guys with Ryan Gosling. I haven't seen any of those other movies. Nice Guys was a really good one too. No,
The Notebook's good.
It is good.
Do you think, Justin? Do you think this? What do you think he's more remembered for?
I think The Notebook. I mean, I really remember him from The Notebook, not only just because of like his acting, but I'm constantly reminded by the memes have like him saying, "What do you want? What do you want?" And then it's just like whenever like you're asking your girlfriend what do you want to eat, that meme comes up, and then that's the epitome of Ryan Gosling for me.
I feel like we
So
had a
that's
Memes
why I
similar
never
went
die.
with it.
Memes
I
never
feel like
die.
we've had a similar scene like that in La La Land too. Where he blows up and like really angry.
Oh.
It's a similar face. Probably a nice. I think it's probably like his like thing or his look. You know, when
Yeah.
he's like
Yeah.
he does it at Nice Guys when the Jared Butler throws the gun. I think into the window.
Yeah.
I can't remember who was throwing it, but one of them. Yeah.
He
Oh
just
my
like
god.
hands
So-
him a gun and he like throws it out the window.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
Back
so
to Tom.
funny.
Yeah.
So do you think so? Yeah. Okay. So
Still the
for
Notebook,
Justin, the apex would be Notebook. You're having it with La La Land.
Yeah, just because I didn't watch the Notebook, so I haven't. had
Well,
the same
watch the
experience.
Notebook so you can get on the level of knowledge that we have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, fun fact. One more fun fact. Ryan Gosling. Did you guys watch Remember the Titans?
No.
Is that the one with Denzel?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, you did. Okay, good. Okay, Ryan Gosling was in Remember the Titans.
Was he the quarterback?
He was the cornerback. Yeah, the cornerback.
Cornerback.
Yeah, he was the one that's
Wow, assumed that the he's quarterback.
But yeah, so he had like a really small part. I think he only had like maybe 10 or 12 lines, but he obviously was the biggest star that came out of it. Not named Denzel Washington, but
Not named
pretty
Denzel
interesting.
Washington.
Back in 2000, and then he just goes off. Yesterday, should we talk about Yesterday?
Why not today?
Exactly. Nice. The budget was 26 million. It made 153 million.
Yep.
They needed access to 17 Beatles songs. And Billboard estimates that at $10 million.
Yeah,
So
imagine.
about 40% of the budget. But I think those were all needed in the movie. So the expenses. Danny Boyle directed it. He also directed Steve Jobs in 2015, 127 Hours with Franco in 2010, and Slumdog Millionaire in 2008. The cast was Lily James, who I personally love. And then I'm going to butcher this name, so somebody else want to say his name?
Himesh Patel.
No, actually,
probably.
you got it.
Himesh Patel.
I don't. That's a guess.
That's pretty good.
I thought both actors did really, really good jobs in this movie.
That's what I said too.
I thought they
yeah.
were outstanding.
I think Lily James is kind of underrated. She's been in some
Is she
great
in other
movies.
famous thing? Like I feel like I've seen her, but like I can't totally remember.
She was in
She was in
God,
Baby Driver.
Baby Driver, yeah.
Oh, she was?
Yeah.
Why do I
And
not
then
remember
have you
that?
seen Darkest Hour? I think she was in that as a secretary.
And then like way back, she was Cinderella in the new Cinderella.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Just found that.
Right.
I guess she was in Mamma Mia too. I'm looking at like
she was the main
IMDb.
actor in Mamma Mia too.
No,
Mhm.
no,
Mhm.
no.
Yeah.
Seyfried was.
No.
Oh, man.
It's like a throwback to the older time.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mamma
I
Mia
have no
2 is.
idea. I haven't watched it, so I don't know. But anyways, I thought, yeah. I mean,
Do you think this is her best movie,
I haven't seen another, so I can't really say. Kind of like
Justin?
the La La Land thing.
As like a main supporting actress.
Yeah, or
Yes.
I guess it's tough to tell because she was mostly supporting, right?
Yeah, I mean, like as a main actress, like the main actress, she's really only. I mean, for me, the one that I've only seen is Cinderella, and it was like okay, and I was like, couldn't really get into the movie, but yeah, and Yesterday, like I could really relate to her more. She's the love interest, right? So like, I mean,
Maybe she's just good with supporting actress. I mean,
yeah,
I think that's
maybe.
like that makes the chops. I mean, she does really well. I think she did really well in this, and I think she also did really well in Darkest Hour.
Yeah,
and also Baby Driver was good too.
Right. She didn't have that many speaking lines to Baby Driver, but yeah, I know exactly. Yeah,
You know,
but yeah, I think I liked her the best in Yesterday. I think.
Yeah.
Just because, like I said, I can't really get into Cinderella. Don't even really remember her in Darkest Hour.
she was the secretary. She was the one that was like,
but I mean, like,
you should
it's
like.
about Winston, though, you know.
Okay,
so
yeah, but also who was doing like all the dirty work? For
who
him?
was
I'm
doing
just
all the
kidding.
behind the scenes?
Who was behind the scenes? Got to give credit, bro.
Okay. Yeah. No. Yeah. So
What favorite scene of Yesterday did you like especially well?
I think,
Oh, if you don't have one yet, I'll go first.
yeah, go for it.
I think kind of one of the first moments he realized like the Beatles was gone, like when he was singing "Yesterday," like with his friend, like his friend, that's a lovely song. Did you write that? And he's like,
Yeah.
what? And
I
even
thought it was
Lily was like, yeah, what? I never heard that song before. I was like, yeah, I thought that was a pretty cool scene. I really like "Yesterday," like an acoustic played too. I thought that was just it went really well.
Oh, true.
I thought it was interesting that there was so many like it seemed like this movie was gonna be like a sequel. There's gonna be a sequel to it. I don't know. Because everybody was like when they were like, have you read the Harry Potter series? And then I don't know if that was just supposed to be funny and then it just ends and it's like, I haven't. And then he's like, are you kidding me? Like the living in that kind of era with them would just be terrible. I would not want like they didn't even have Coca-Cola.
Oh, right. That's what it was. Yeah. Have you ever had? Yeah.
Like what
Um,
they're missing out on so many things.
yeah,
It's just
it's an interesting concept, that movie. Just like forgetting the whole world, forgetting about a because you don't realize that the Beatles was like a revolutionary type of music and a band. So like so many people were inspired by the Beatles and ended up creating like that sort of generational music that has been passed down. So, I thought, well, my favorite scene then from that movie was like just when he sings like all those songs, like when he's like just even when he's recording them, and then you
mhm.
see his success because of like how big those songs were, how good those songs are. It just kind of it parallels with how famous the Beatles got off of those songs too. So it's just kind of
Makes
just
sense.
recollecting on how famous the Beatles were,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
yeah, not
It
very
gave
many
me
people kind of appreciate that, I guess.
yeah. It gave me goosebumps kind of just like how the Live Aid thing did
Mm-hmm.
when I
Hmm.
heard all of the songs. So that's a good scene. Um yeah.
Yeah.
And then Kate McKinnon was also in this, which was pretty funny.
Ed
All
Sheeran
right.
also made a guest appearance. That was
Ed
funny
Sheeran
too.
also did. What is up with all these like famous guys making, I guess, experience? Because in um in the other movie, La La Land, there was Legend or
John Legend, yeah.
John Legend.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
maybe they just want to get in there because they're like, this is my domain.
Yeah.
I need to be in here.
Yeah. Could be true.
Yeah, especially since like this is like an English movie, uh, so Ed Sheeran would be in it. Of course,
Yeah,
you have to have him. So
I guess he is. Yeah. So another movie that has a huge influence we have to talk about is Rocketman,
Mm-hmm.
which is also surprising because they didn't have as big as a box office as I would have expected. I mean, they did make 195 million, but I was expecting more of like the 200, 300. I don't know, just because Elton
Maybe it
John's
wasn't
been.
hyped up as much beforehand. I don't know. It also
Yeah,
it didn't win any awards, I
felt
think.
kind of rushed to me. Like I saw,
Yeah, it came out right after Bohemian. Is that what you're saying? Or
well, I don't know. It just kind of felt like,
it just came up on you and just was there?
yeah, like a couple of like commercials came on with like their preview, and then I was like, okay,
yeah.
nice. And then it was out, and I didn't even realize it came out, and then
Oh, I see.
yeah.
So maybe it was some bad marketing and PR.
That's true. I guess I was expecting at least like 200.
Yeah, I thought it was really
But
good.
but some context to it. Dexter Fletcher, who directed Eddie and the Eagle,
I watched that. That was
directed
a good one
this.
too.
He also produced Bohemian,
Oh, okay.
and he will direct Sherlock Holmes the Third, which will star Rachel McAdams, Robert Downey Jr., and Jude
Nice.
I'm
Law.
excited for that.
I haven't seen any of them, so yeah.
You
Let me
haven't
know
seen
if
any
Maybe
of the
on
Sherlock
that.
Holmes?
no.
Wow, really? Do you not
Are they good?
you like action
No,
crime spy
Drew
movies?
will like them. It's just that he just hasn't gone around to them, right, Drew?
No, I clearly do not like
I
it. No, I'm
thought
just kidding.
Sherlock Holmes was like one of my favorite. I don't know. I really like Robert Downey Jr. So
Really?
I really
Hmm.
like the movies. I thought it was
Oh,
really yeah.
well, maybe it's just
I
bad
didn't even know
PR
they're
and
coming out with a
bad
third one. I'm
marketing.
glad they are.
Maybe.
Taron Egerton.
Mm-hmm.
Played Elton John
Mm-hmm.
due to his work in Kingsman
Mm-hmm.
and the movie Sing.
Mm-hmm.
He was also
Funny
in the Billion
story.
Dollars Club, Billion
Sorry.
Boys Club.
Funny
So
story. So
yeah,
when he
go.
was in Sing, the
Mhm.
song he sang was an Elton John song. I think
Yeah,
that's what actually led him to take this role on, especially. And also, the
that's crazy.
director directed Eddie the Eagle, and Taron Egerton was one of the main characters in that. So I think it was a bunch of good connections. But he was really good in Sing, also.
Yeah. It's funny that you say that because so Elton John was trying to produce this way before it released
Oh,
in 2019. So in
I see.
2001, he uh he struggled to get it off because he wanted to make it an R-rated movie instead of just having a PG-13.
Hmm.
So, I mean, maybe that's also why it just didn't do as well, because it wasn't accessible to everybody else because
Mm-hmm.
it was, I don't know. Um, because I think the story was good. I mean, obviously the soundtrack was, so I'm just surprised it didn't do it. But Justin Timberlake was supposed to play Elton John instead
Wow.
of, yeah. So
Interesting.
what are your takes on that? Elton John or Justin Timberlake as Elton John instead of,
First initial take is Elton John's from the UK.
mm-hmm.
Taron Egerton's from the UK, I think, or from England. I mean, he has some, that
Yeah,
English accent. So I think it would have been weird to see Timberlake because we already know Timberlake as an American pop singer.
yeah.
I think I think Taron made more sense because we don't see him as a singer. We see him as an actor.
It does. I
You know.
mean, what do you think, Justin?
Well, I personally haven't seen the movie yet,
Hmm.
but I would think that, I mean, I don't know much about Elton John's like early career, and like Ryota said, Justin Timberlake is from the US, so it's like it'd be kind of weird to have a US actor trying to portray Elton John and then trying to have that same accent, because I mean, accents can be tricky. So if he does mess up, everyone catches it. So it's kind of like, you know, so
Yeah,
yeah, it's just
I think Elton John wanted him just because of his singing, and it is surprising that he would have proposed himself as being portrayed as
mhm.
an American. But yeah, and then Tom Hardy was also supposed to be in the role, and then he
I
opted out
guess,
because
yeah.
of conflict.
Hmm.
So I think of when I think of John Hardy, I don't know. I think of like Inception and like action.
Yeah,
And
action movies.
I guess with Egerton, I mean he's in Kingsman, but I don't know. I always think of Tom Hardy more of like a supporting role than I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
Tom Hardy
personally
was
mine.
also in that post-apocalyptic movie,
Mad Max,
Mad Max.
Oh
So,
right. Oh my gosh, I
Venom.
totally
He's been in a
forgot
lot of
about
good
that.
movies. I mean, he was Bane, but
hmm
you're right. He's
Yeah,
always the bad guy or serious
he's an
guy.
action movie, like the nitty-gritty
you're right.
sort
He's also
of person.
huge, so
He's
I
huge, yeah.
He is
sort of
huge.
lost some weight for the
Who
movie.
knows? Maybe Elton John was
He was
like
like, I need
maxing
this.
220 or
This is what
something.
I look like. Oh, I totally forgot that he was in Mad Max. Why did I forget that?
Because his face is like not shown for like the first like 30 or 40 minutes of the movie. It's like covered in that
That's
metal
true.
cage of mask. So, you know.
And then Bane, I guess his face was also covered. Wow.
Hmm.
And Venom, he's half in a
Yeah.
Yeah,
costume.
exactly. So
So we're seeing a big trend here.
no
That's
one
so
wants to see
funny.
his face.
Also, Richard Madden, who played Elton John's manager, played Robb Stark in Game of Thrones.
Right. Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, it's a
Yeah,
huge thing.
yeah.
Maybe I should check out the TV show. I'm just kidding. Um, yeah, Taron Egerton also wore 53 different pair of glasses throughout the movie. So just to put into perspective how many changes he had to go through.
Jesus.
53 glasses. Ryota, what's your favorite scene since Justin hasn't seen the movie?
I think my favorite scene, I think when we just see like one of those concert scenes where he's like
Mhm.
spinning around and then he goes into like a bunch of different costumes, like quick flashes of what he's wearing and like the places he played at. I think that was really cool because again, Elton John's similar to Queen for me. Like I didn't really listen to his music. I didn't
Yeah.
know about a lot about him. Like I didn't know he was homosexual. So I think it was really cool hearing about it and then seeing him, the outfits that he wore, the way he performed. I think that was really cool to watch. And I can hear a lot of his music. But now I like have like 2 albums on my phone, so.
Yeah. I think it is right because like what Justin said before and then what you said, like the movie kind of just snuck up, and like I didn't realize I was going to watch this, and like I didn't know anything about Elton John until watching it, and now I have some of his music.
Yeah.
And I actually did a report on one of his songs, but yeah.
Oh, you did? Nice.
Yeah, Crocodile Rock
Oh,
for
yeah.
for the music for my last music credit.
Oh.
But yeah. I think my favorite scene, Ryota, was when young Elton goes into like with the Saturday Night's All Right.
Yes, that was a cool scene. I remember.
I think that was
too.
really well done.
Yeah.
Underrated, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you guys think when you think of Taron Egerton? What movie comes to mind now? Is this his apex?
Kingsman.
Kingsman?
Kingsman.
Okay.
Because Kingsman had 2 movies too. And I don't know, are they gonna come out with a third? Like, I wouldn't be surprised.
They're coming out with a new Kingsman.
But he's not in it, right? Because it's like flashback. I'm excited
It's
for
a
that.
pre-modern Kingsman. It's like
I
the
think
old
Merlin's
how
in
it
it
started.
still, right?
Huh?
I think Merlin's still in it though, right?
The guy that
I think it might be a different Merlin.
Oh,
Like
really?
a different guy.
different
Yeah.
Merlin.
But
But yeah, I think as much as I like Rocketman, it's just not enough people watched it, I think, including Justin. So
Justin,
I think
why didn't you watch it?
Kingsman was really cool. It was like a refreshing spy movie because all we've had is James Bond and Tom Cruise, but it's been the same series over and over. So I think Kingsman was really refreshing. It adds to this mix of spy movies, and I'm excited for Sherlock Holmes now. So
Yeah, that's true. Sherlock Holmes is coming out. Yeah, okay, let's move on to what other movie should we go to?
I think a lot of the good ones we really talked a lot about. Maybe we'll chat about two more big ones. I think we should talk about Whiplash and A Star Is Born.
Okay.
Do you guys want to talk about Star Is Born first?
Sure.
We've all watched it, right?
I've seen Parts and Pieces.
Oh.
So you guys can handle this, but
okay, Justin, first take.
Yeah, first takes on it. Bradley Cooper directorial debut.
Yep, and it mad success.
Which one's Star Is Born again?
Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper.
Oh, I'm so dumb. Yeah, no, I honestly, that movie was good. I mean, depressing, but it was good. And I think that Bradley Cooper did a really good job of like portraying a singer / songwriter, I guess, that is on a downfall, very steep downfall, and while he's trying to nurture a rising star in Lady Gaga and having to deal with that and drugs and alcoholism and everything. It just kind of shows the life of a singer, and it's depressing. It's sad to see how some people can't really handle the fame or can't handle it because of their ego. So yeah,
I like. I'm gonna go off your point of the life of a celebrity, I guess, in whole, right? And I think we've seen that a lot with movies now. They really try to portray more accurately what it's like to be an actor or a singer, like you see with Elton John's movie and Bohemian. Like they did not cut out any of the bad parts of life. They really made it clear what happens. I think they wanted to be transparent and kind of show, like, I guess not to give actors and actresses and singers an excuse, but saying this is what they deal with sometimes. All this pressure, depression. I think we see that more often in any kind of movie. Like they really try to show, athletes struggle with mental health, and we see that kind of movement now. I think it's really good that they did that. Great job by Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper in his directorial debut too. It was really good, well set up movie. But also apparently the Star Is Born, I just did some research. So it's like a repeating story. Like they've made like 10 different movies of this in the past or something. And I guess I was reading a critique by Vox.com. They said one of the problems of this story though is that it kind of portrays that the woman is always needing the man's help. And if that, you know what I mean, in this movie, Justin, like, Lady Gaga's success is determined by Bradley Cooper. So, critics are saying like,
at least in the beginning.
Yeah. Well, but like, even then, like, and then like Lady Gaga has to try to sacrifice for him to make sure he succeeds then, and then there's this whole drama. But they're saying this power dynamic relationship was not portrayed very well, or like it reinforces this, hierarchical kind of thing, which I guess critics didn't like. But also they were talking about consent. It's a little more hidden theme, but like, like Bradley Cooper wanted Gaga to go with a drink with him, but she said no a bunch of times until she finally said yes. And then also about like when she forced him to, when he forced her to sing on stage, like clearly not prepared. They're saying it was another issue of consent, and there's some other issues they bring up, but it's interesting. I thought it was a good movie overall. I enjoyed it, but again, there's some of these problems that we see within the movie. And I read about The Greatest Showman too. People are really critical about that because there are some underlying issues with the actor or the character that Hugh Jackman played. But we can
Yeah,
get
I
into
guess
that
I
later.
could see that.
But
yeah, I could see it in Greatest Showman too.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Well,
just
that kind
yeah.
of puts a different light on the movie, I guess. But
yeah.
I just
Sorry to bring the tone down, but yeah,
No,
unfortunately,
I
it was an
mean,
interesting critique that I read, which I thought would be worth sharing to the world too. So,
No, yeah, that's definitely interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen the movie, but I've only heard good things about it. And kind of like, I know Bradley Cooper was the director in this and also starred in it. And I kind of just want to like highlight his career because I want to know your guys' like thing, like where do you see him at the top of the hierarchy of terms of actors, like Leo or so I'll run through the movies and then let me know where you guys see him in the rank.
Okay.
So in Wedding Crashers in 2005, he played the crazy boyfriend of Rachel McAdams. He was in the Hangover series. He was the main part of that. So in 2009, he did the first one. He was in Limitless in 2011, Place Behind the Pines, and Silver Lining Playbook in 2012, American Sniper in 2013.
Right. Yeah.
In 2014, American Hustle in 2013, and the Guardians of the Galaxy as Rocket. So I mean, he's had a great. I feel like overall, I mean, been in a lot of movies. Where do you guys see him?
I think he's one of the most underrated. Like he's had a huge variety, and I think A Star Is Born. He's kind of trying to prove a point that he's really versatile, and he really proved himself. Like, who would have thought Bradley Cooper can sing and direct a movie? I think this was kind of a turning point in throwing into the conversation because all of the other ones, like as great as it's been, but like it's not super versatile. It's like mostly comedy, some rom-com, but this is like a whole new, I think this brings a new light on how we view him. So I think he can definitely be thrown in because like, can Leo sing? Have we seen Leo sing? No. Have we seen Brad Pitt sing? No, but Brad Pitt's also like, he's also
more of a
like,
character archer.
Yeah. But Ryan Gosling kind of, I think, did this to kind of prove himself too in La La Land. So
yeah, that's true.
I think he should be ranked pretty high up there, especially after Star Is Born.
Especially in American Sniper, I thought he did.
That was a really good movie.
That was a great performance. And I mean, yeah, you're right. He is very versatile in the way he can like transition between characters. Would I rank him? I think, I would say he's underrated. I don't know if he can. So for this movie, do you think any other actor could do what he did? Like, do you guys have like a substitute that could have been maybe better? Like maybe Ryan Gosling in this, or what do you think? Do you think anybody could play that role?
Justin, do you have somebody in mind?
I mean, not off the top of my head, but I guarantee,
do you think you could see Leo in it?
I don't know, because like the character he plays is like a country singer, right?
That's
I can't really imagine Leo as an American patriotic country singer. Bradley Cooper kind of really fits that. He can like put some dirt on his face. He's got a beard, long kind of curly hair. Ryan Gosling, I can't really see it either.
What about Brad Pitt? Long.
Yeah, I could see Brad Pitt. I don't know if he can sing, but if he could sing, then yeah, maybe. Actually, that's a good one, actually, Drew. I like that.
I'm just trying to see. I don't know. I mean,
Tom
this movie
Hardy?
did. Tom Hardy.
Can he sing? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think he can sing.
Hugh Jackman can sing.
Hugh Jackman can sing.
He almost looks exactly like Bradley Cooper if you think about it.
That could be a good one.
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, hypotheticals. Imagining everything. All right, what movie do you want to go on to, Ryota?
Should we just quickly talk about Greatest Showman because we kind of mentioned it?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
really awesome soundtrack. I really enjoyed it. I think it was really good for kids. But again, I'm just going to be devil's advocate here. But the critique was, they made so he was playing P.T. Barnum, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you guys learned in history class, but he was pretty controversial.
Yeah.
How he
I
was
didn't know that.
exploitive and he
Yeah.
profited from different types of people and not always treating them the right way. So again, one of the critics was, they made P.T. Barnum look like such a great person. And I think the moral of the story was, everyone can fit in though. Like, don't be scared of who you are, which I really enjoy. And that's a great message to kids, like a lot of what Disney movies do. But I think what they could have done is maybe not had him be P.T. Barnum. He could have played someone else or slightly changed the story. I don't know. But I think having him play P.T. Barnum was kind of a mistake because we learned about in history, how he is very controversial.
I feel like they were trying to ride off of people not knowing exactly who he was,
Yeah.
P.T. Barnum. So they tried to play it off as a happy musical that portrays, right, anyone can fit in and follow or can have the same success as great as other people. So, uh, I mean, I think Hugh Jackman honestly was like a good pick for the movie. I thought
Mm-hmm.
because of his of his what is it called? Like his roles in theater. Like he didn't used to always act. He was like a theater actor, and that's like I think how he got his start, honestly. Um, but yeah, no, I think that this musical style kind of basically fits like because you see him dancing too. Like that's like him dancing. It's not like
Hmm.
throwing in a double or anything. So like
Hmm.
he's like really athletic, can sing, and has like the lung capacity to hold it and look like he's not even breaking a sweat. So like I feel like Hugh Jackman was a good pick. Maybe it wasn't like if people really look into it and like the history of P.T. Barnum, then sure, like it'll hurt his career a little bit. But I think, well, how people are going to look at it is the musical. It's all fun and games, and it's got a great soundtrack, is what I think people are going to look at it. So I mean, yeah, I hear you. I understand that P.T. Barnum wasn't a good guy. I mean, even I feel like some of the parts of the movie they make him seem kind of sneaky in that he keeps tricking banks into funding him and him not really paying it back or whatever. So I feel like
Yeah.
if you can kind of like see through that and see that, yeah, he was kind of a schemer, then yeah.
It was definitely not as pronounced in his ways.
Mhm.
But I also think, I mean, they definitely could have gone a different route in terms of, okay, we're gonna have a whole kind of biography of P.T. Barnum. And then that would, I don't know if that's what they were going for. I think they were going for more the musical aspect. And then when you have that, it's kind of hard to also throw in like the abuse he had with his like
Hmm.
um his his workers in a sense, like how he like manipulated them. So
Hmm.
I think it's tough to like you're gonna have a musical that's gonna be PG-13 and like it's gonna be nice for like I'm gonna like promote it to like kids and then also have that kind of like I think it's too much. They have to like make a stance on where they want to go, and I think that's why they kind of subdued his character or his P.T. Barnum's actual life, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. Like they definitely could have. I definitely see how they could have made it more um like bad and yeah. But I mean, I think the soundtrack kind of made it as well. And going back to all of these
Hmm.
movies, and I think if it was more P.T. Barnum, more of his life, I don't think we would have seen that. I don't think we would
No.
have seen musicals, and then we wouldn't be talking about it. I mean, yeah,
Hmm.
and it's just
That's
like,
true.
I mean, you have Hugh Jackman, like Justin said, who is more of a theater guy. Started out with theater, so he can kind of that's kind of the actor that they were envisioning, like a singer. And then you
Hmm.
have like Zac Efron, who has had experience with singing, and then Zendaya, and
Hmm.
I mean all these other guys. And I think it would have just been completely different if the narrative changed
Hmm.
to more of that. But it is interesting. I mean, yeah, maybe they'll do another P.T. Barnum, and this one will be more, you know, grit and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay. Well,
that's
we
my
still
two
have a
cents
lot
on
of
it.
other movies. So how about we just do like a quick, just touch on whatever other movies. So like I'm just going to name some movies so we can
Yeah.
talk about Eurovision, which came out on Netflix recently.
Nice.
The Miserables, which I haven't watched, but I think Justin's watched. Drew, did you watch The Miserables?
Les Miserables.
Les
No, I have not.
Miserables.
Okay, we don't have to talk about it. I didn't watch it
Les
either.
Miserables.
Um, There's also Blinded by the Light, which came out in 2019 with Springsteen-related movie based on a true story. Mamma Mia, Straight Outta Compton, which was really good. And Whiplash, Pitch Perfect. And then lastly, we should later go into like future movies of musicians that we could see. But let's kind of quickly touch on some of those movies, whatever one you guys want to talk about quickly.
Justin, do you want to touch on any other ones?
Well, since it was the most recent one that I've seen, and since it was the silliest one I've seen, Eurovision song, whatever, what's the movie called? Like
Eurovision Fire Saga or something.
Yeah. It's a silly movie. I mean, Rachel
Would you
McAdams,
recommend Drew to watch
Ferrell.
it or not? That's the question, I guess.
Is it a Netflix movie? Is it like something like I'd be like, okay, this is definitely like Adam Sandler-esque. Like, I don't need to sit in. I can like do in more than one sitting, or is it more of like, okay, I need to sit down and watch this?
I'd say it's a movie you don't even really need to watch. I just kind of watched it just to watch it, and it was it's pretty. I mean, it's funny, and like the music is like, obviously it's kind of a stretch, but it's like, it's a Will Ferrell movie. I don't know if you can really expect much else from it. So it's kind of like that style where he's kind of, it has like this drastic dream, which basically kind of comes true a little bit. And Rachel McAdams is there too, but I don't think the chemistry was really working there. You can kind of see it in the movie. It didn't really, I don't know. It was just hard for me to get in, like to see them together. Maybe it's the age difference too, because I could see like Will Ferrell's like, I don't even know how old he is, but like Rachel McAdams isn't that old, or maybe she is, I don't know, but it just didn't seem quite right to me. And yeah, once again, it's a Netflix movie, and it looked like it was kind of thrown out there real fast. So I don't know, it's okay.
Grab. Well, I mean, like if it's, I mean, in Semi-Pro, Will Ferrell sang, and in Step Brothers he sang. So if there's anything like that I'm gifted with, I definitely have to see it.
I don't know. It just seemed like it was a Netflix movie. That's a good way to put it. It just wasn't that. I thought it was funny, but it wasn't terribly good or bad. I think you could watch it while you're doing homework or like researching for your podcast kind of deal. But again, there was also people angry from Europe about how they portrayed Eurovision. Eurovision's a real contest.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either, so I looked it up, and the first thing that came up was Eurovision instead of the movie. Then I looked up some critiques, and they're like, "Yeah, because basically what they did is they made fun of Eurovision. I mean, they didn't, but it kind of, right? Because like,
but Ryota, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. Okay. If this movie never came out on Netflix and had Will Ferrell in it, would you watch it?
Eurovision?
Yeah, if it didn't have.
Well, no. But the thing is, it was big deal for Europeans.
I know, but then you wouldn't be. Then you wouldn't go.
We wouldn't have known about Eurovision.
And looked it up. But maybe that's fine. I think they just because now I think they're angry because now we see Eurovision as a joke. And we don't even know it's a real thing because like they didn't explain that in the movie either. I think that was a problem. If they said if they said like Eurovision's a big deal, or like at the end, the credit scene. Yeah. I think then they would have been okay with it, but it seemed like a pretty bad thing. Like. There's like a death and is. Oh, but I think it was also cool. But it was also cool because like they were underdogs, they had no chance of winning, but they won.
What? Yeah. I haven't seen this movie. I'm just kidding.
Oh, all right.
No, it's fine.
They also made fun of Iceland a lot. Like Iceland was kind of just
it was very sarcastic and it was funny, but it was like kind of I don't know. Okay, next movie.
I think anything with Will Ferrell should be.
Yeah, they should have known.
You know, like when you cast him, he's obviously a comedian.
Yeah, you can't say Semi-Pro's an actual basketball movie. Yeah, you have to know.
You know, true. It's like, I don't know. I don't know.
It's kind of funny though. It might be fun to watch with your parents or something. Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
No.
That's what I asked.
Neither one of you have seen it?
I've seen it. He hasn't seen it.
Oh, okay.
That's why I was asking you about your recommendation. And you told me not to watch it.
I recently watched Blinded by the Light, the Bruce Springsteen related movie. Have you guys seen it?
No.
Okay, it's based on a true story. I give it a watch. Why are you guys laughing? So, quick summary of the story. So, a Pakistani family living in England during like a very anti-Semitic time in England. He kind of felt lost, started listening to Bruce Springsteen, who was introduced by his friend. Listened to his cassette tape like on a Walkman. You know what a Walkman is?
Yes.
So,
Justin, do you know what a Walkman is?
Okay.
Yes, I
Good.
do.
Okay. But
Guardians of the
anyways, I thought it was a
Galaxy.
cool movie. You get to listen to a lot of Bruce Springsteen and hear about this kind of cool story that happened and how his like life changed by just listening to Bruce Springsteen. So
Yeah,
that's
I
a quick
mean,
summary.
he's definitely an influential country guy.
Hmm.
He's that's yeah, I would definitely go to what's it on? What streaming device is it on?
I watched it on Watch Xfinity.
Oh, Xfinity.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. Maybe
Xfinity.
I mean, I have Eurovision and this to watch now. Which
Yeah.
one, Ryota, which one would you recommend more?
Uh, I think Blinded by the Light,
Yeah,
Okay.
Drew, if you're looking for something comedic, then go
Eurovision.
Eurovision.
But if you want to watch a good movie, Blinded by the Light was pretty good.
All
Okay.
right. I have
Next movie. We're
options.
going rapid fire here. Straight
Okay,
Outta
rapid
Compton.
fire. This is bringing back Justin's buzzer beaters and how
Yeah.
he failed at this.
Did you guys watch Straight Outta Compton?
I haven't gotten to it and I want to watch it. I haven't gotten
Justin,
to
have
it.
you watched it? Oh, okay. Well, I mean, yeah.
Well, okay, wait. Can you save it? Because I actually do want to see it, but don't give it away.
No, I won't. I'm just gonna
Okay.
talk about like how it impacted me, maybe because like so NWA, like I heard about it, but I never listened to it.
Yeah.
I knew who Ice Cube was. I listened to a little bit of Dr. Dre.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't necessarily listen to more rap now because of the movie, but I think it was really cool to hear about because this is more like a Bohemian Rocketman. This is like an autobiographical or biographical movie, right? And talks
Yeah,
about the
biopic.
music. I think it's especially important to watch now because in the weird revolution time we are with Black Lives Matter and racial injustice, this is a really good time to I think kind of watch because it talks about that time and we weren't there living during this era in LA and California or whatever. So I think it's really cool to kind of watch them and how they impacted people. That's just kind of a quick sneak peek of that. I don't really need to talk much more about it. I mean, pretty self-explanatory. NWA is a huge
Oh yeah.
impact on
And
hip
both
hop,
of
right?
I feel like most of them had huge careers out of it. So
Yeah,
that's also kind of why it intrigued me
yeah.
to
Okay,
know the roots. But
yeah.
yeah.
Whiplash. Justin, you've seen Whiplash?
Yeah.
Drew, did you
I
watch Whiplash?
Yep.
Okay.
I've seen Whiplash.
You guys go ahead. Talk about it.
Well, like I prefaced before, I really like J.K. Simmons. I think he's a great actor.
Hmm.
And I'll watch anything with him. So
Hmm.
I especially liked it, and I know it kind of came off harsh. Definitely, I don't know how
Hmm.
many times they dropped the F-bomb, but it
Hmm.
was. I think it does give a representation of like how you know how tough it is to be in that stage of like being um a drummer or even being in the ensemble. So yeah,
Yeah.
huge
Kind of shows the
representation.
intensity of, or the highest, I guess you can even say like the highest level of skill or expectation that uh, he was looking for. So it kind of shows the amount of work and the perfectionism that kind of goes into something that we don't really think twice about. So drumming, I don't really, I mean, especially in like, are they like a jazz band? I forget what it is. It's like something
Jazz.
jazz related.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
jazz, yeah. So like obviously like jazz band, it's all about skill, and it's not. I mean, I don't really consider it as much as like about singing or anything. So it's really all about like each instrument working well together. And in this case, it was about how well uh, Miles Teller's character, I forget his name. Anyway,
Yeah.
Miles Teller's character plays the drums, and
Mhm.
him competing with other people to make sure that he's the best. And
Mhm.
Yeah.
then, so it's kind of like, it's almost like a sports movie,
That's what
sort
I was
of,
gonna
in
say.
that
Yeah.
sense,
Yeah.
where you have to outcompete your competitors and be the best at what you do. And then obviously, like injuries or something comes along the way, but you have to get past that. You have to fight through it and stuff.
Mhm.
And it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was a
Yeah.
really good movie. I mean, as a musician, I used to play jazz in middle school and high school, or just middle school. But
Hmm.
I think they tried to really represent how tough music is. Like he's playing in the college level, and he almost, he was suffering with depression and this super strict music teacher. I think they're exaggerating that aspect of it, but like he remember he gets hit by a car and then he has to go play, and then the whole
Mhm.
ending was really cool. It was kind of like a La La Land ending, kind of just flipped on you.
Hmm.
So I thought it was a pretty cool movie to watch.
I also think you brought up a good point, like how he was struggling, and we see that with a lot of the movies, like
Hmm.
Star is Born and
Hmm.
Bohemian, and yeah. So more of these musics are showing the more being more transparent.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Um, do you guys have? What if I told you that the guy that played Elton John, or maybe Remy Malek, do you think they would have fit well in um in the movie as a drummer for Miles Teller or not? Do you think? Because I mean, it's more. I mean, deep. It's not like it's not a musical like La La Land, but that's why I
Mhm.
kind of want to like. I mean, Remy can portray. I don't know. So do you guys?
They just need to pick someone that looks relatively young, that could be in college,
Yeah.
and that looks kind of beaten
I
down all
think
the
this was one
time.
of Miles Teller's first good ones too that I can remember, like big role.
Hmm.
I'm a huge.
Yeah.
I like Miles Teller a lot. I think he did really well, and yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't think Taryn or Remy could really, or I wouldn't see them fitting into this role.
Yeah, but they have that. Oh, well, at least Taryn and then maybe Ansel, the guy that played Baby Driver. They
Oh,
have like
maybe.
that,
I could. That's a good choice. I like
you know,
that. Could be a good one. Yeah.
because because you really just need to have that guy that looks young and that can be like a college kid.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
you can't replace JK. He was
No,
amazing in
Jake.
this.
No,
He
yeah.
was really, really, really good too. Yeah.
I think he won the award for that for supporting actor.
I
I
think
can
so.
look though, but I'm pretty sure he won it.
He
Yeah.
deserved it. I think this is one of his major like.
Uh-huh.
Wow, he put himself on the map there.
Okay.
Hmm.
Moving
Yep,
on to the
he
next
won it.
topic.
2015.
Yeah,
2015.
he
Oh,
should have.
good for him.
Future movies that we could see that we haven't seen yet, and this is again music related to keep it kind of tight knit. Any specifics you guys can think of? Legends or current, famous people that you want to see a movie about in the future?
Yeah, I mean, maybe like another rock band. I think would be fun.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind having another like Beatles, an actual Beatles one.
That's what I was thinking, because Yesterday was not so focused on the Beatles, but maybe once Paul goes, like just a Beatles tribute about the story, because I think not many people know about it,
Yeah,
So
I think like if something working with them would be good, like so they have influence on it. I think that would be really really good, and I definitely would see it. And I think a lot of people would see it. Maybe like a Rolling Stones one. I don't know.
yeah, Rolling Stones, yeah.
I think rock bands have an interesting story, so I would want to see that for my next future music one.
Yeah. I think what could be a problem with doing another rock band was that since there was that like wave of rock band movies that came out, they'll be compared to by those movies. So then it's not going to be as special, or it'll get hit by critics. It'll be like it's just like another Yesterday,
Sense.
just like another Star is Born or something.
Yeah,
And then I'll
that's
just be
true.
like, yeah. So I feel like they'll have to wait a little bit at least until everyone kind of forgets that these movies even existed.
but I think there needs to be a Beatles one.
that's
Like that's
true.
like a
Yeah, no,
100% lock.
1,000%. Mm-hmm.
Any
I
other
feel like a
artists
lot
you
of
guys can
people are
think of?
disconnected with Beatles. Anyways,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Well, maybe because the Beatles is just so well known right now that they don't really need to make a movie.
That's another thing. So I watched the Netflix documentary on Queen, and they said like I think the movie kind of revamped them, and then now Adam Lambert's their lead singer, and now they have this resurgence. They're going on concerts. So I think that's part of what the movies are for, to make sure that their legacies don't die. And obviously, clearly made an impact on us, right? Because we didn't forget Queen and Elton John now, but we might have if we didn't watch the movie, right?
You know what I would want to see? I want to see a Kiss movie. That would be sick.
I've never listened to the music, to be honest with you.
Well, I
so.
haven't either, but I've just seen what their
Oh
whole
my
attire.
God.
Yeah, the
But
costume and.
wouldn't that be cool?
But the thing
No,
is,
Kiss is
they don't.
good.
No, never mind. I was gonna say we don't know what they look like in person, but they actually do, right? They show.
No,
their
they have.
faces.
They have. Yeah,
Okay,
we do.
that's what I
Yeah,
thought.
they have it without makeup and stuff.
Oh, I was
What
thinking
about-
they were just gonna have all makeup on the whole time. I would watch that.
That could be like a
Okay.
funny Will Ferrell movie.
No,
Yeah.
I would want to see John Hardy or Tom Hardy in that one.
Tom Hardy.
Because we never see his
You're in
face.
love with Tom Hardy.
Well, we never see his face. It's perfect.
Oh my God.
What about what if Tom Hardy played Elvis Presley in a movie?
Oh, I think he needs to be more like.
No, I feel like they have like a similar face structure, like a square. I don't know.
I think he needs to be.
Cheekbones. What?
I guess so. I can kind of see.
But I
He needs
think
to have
Elvis
more of like an
movie could be
accent,
good.
like more of a drawl, like a southern drawl.
Mm.
And I guess you
I
can just
see. So
do
maybe a
that.
famous country singer.
No, but then when it's a famous
Oh.
country singer, it has to be an actor to do
Okay.
him justice. Who could it be? Let me think. Well, that
I
would
was
be for
about to
another
say
time.
Woody Harrelson, but that's because
Yes.
Wait, but no, but
That's a good one.
because he played Elvis in Zombieland 2.
Oh.
Oh, right.
He really liked Elvis and like dressed up as him, and I was like, where have I seen Woody Harrelson as Elvis before?
Wait, but let's imagine. Yeah, I mean, that'd be
Woody
crazy.
Harrelson does have a southern-ish sort of
Yeah, I feel like
Tennessee
he's
talking.
from the South or
He
something.
might be a little bit too old now.
Yes,
Yeah, that's a good point.
that is
You
true.
need somebody younger, I think. I don't know. That's just my 2 cents on it.
What about
What
another
other
Miles Teller?
Miles Teller?
Anyway, yeah.
Let's see. I don't know any other
I was
really
gonna say Michael Jackson or David Bowie.
Oh,
Oh,
yes, of
true.
course.
David Bowie's they did, a big tribute on him at the Grammys a couple of years ago, so people haven't really forgot about him. But Michael Jackson, I don't know.
I would, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that'd be a good
Or
movie
maybe
to
like
watch.
somebody that's like maybe like the blue, like maybe more of like the blues singers. I don't know. Maybe
They
like
I'd
made
like
a
to see
Ray
a Whitney
Charles
movie.
movie in
Ray
2004.
Charles. Oh, they did.
Yeah, I didn't watch it, but that was a long time ago when he passed away. So
Like a Whitney Houston movie would be really good.
yeah, because we don't have any female singers yet for any of these movies.
Who would play Whitney Houston?
What's her face?
Kerry Washington,
No, the other one that sings. The one that's really good at singing.
Jennifer Hudson.
Yes.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I could
she
too.
can sing.
I just said Kerry Washington because they kind of look similar, but yeah, I don't know
they
if
look
Kerry
similar.
sings.
Yeah, I could see Kerry Washington too.
Well, there's a lot. The plate's full.
It
Yeah.
is.
Okay, that was really good discussions on movies. I think that was a fun segment. We'll probably definitely do in the future with guests too. I think that was pretty interesting.
Definitely. Justin, we have to have you back on.
Of course. I'd love to
He
be
needs
back.
to redeem himself on the
Okay, then.
Yeah.
I just don't know drafting all that well. I'm not that good at. I can do player numbers,
You can.
sort of.
But yeah, we would so I think we might bring the segment back for movies for sure. We might just focus on one movie and kind of have more in depth there, or we could do more of like a category again. We'll just have to see. To see how much work we want to put in for each week. But
For sure.
thank you, Justin, for stopping by.
Of course.
Yeah. Enjoy
Thanks for
your
having me.
time.
All right.
Make sure to follow, subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. But yeah, see you guys next week.
Perfect.
See ya.